See the difference? You guys may want to move this way. This is where we're passing split passing, right? My knee's on top of his thigh. Knee shield. We're down here, right? So he's going to lock his feet. Whatever he does, there's a couple ways to play knee shield. What we're looking at first is low knee shield. The dynamic changes when you go to high knee shield or when he uses frames. So we're going to look for a low knee shield with no frames, which dictates the ability of my body and my head to push forward and create space forward and create pressure and crush the top hook. So I'm in here when I see low knee shield with no frames. Hey, look where my head goes. Familiar concept. Hand behind, blocking his hips so he can't just shrimp out. Stepping up 1, 2. So I'm like a table, right? Except this one's folded, but I got my 4 posts here. So I'm going to create that pressure in. When I'm ready to go, I'm going to move my head out here. From here to here, and I'm going to turn my hips this way. Here. Super simple, super effective. I need to control the head, so I take my 4 fingers and I dig right in that nice tendon right around pressure point, you know, when you're a kid and you get your buddies. So I go here, right? My next step, remember that leg pummel? I'm going to leg pummel him to lock his hip down. Couple different ways you can go from this position. Whether it's dictated by this arm or by personal preference. So if I get an underhook here, and we'll deal with the underhook first. If I get an underhook, which typically happens as I'm coming around and grabbing, if I get an underhook here, I now need a crossface. So I worm that crossface into this position here. I'm going to lift my hip, so I go hip to hip with him here, and I'm going to go over. Knee folds over, diagonal push, walk it back, diagonal control. Here. Okay. So, knee shield. I may even be fighting that split passing, and he pushes my knee and pops, bang. There it is. Those of you roll with Druzba know all he does is knee shield. And most of you roll with me know I play this position religiously as well. So it's here. I establish my post, I establish my head control. This is my base position to work off of. I go right here if there's no frame. If he frames, see how it drastically affects my ability? Remember we brought our head out over? I can't do that anymore. So I have to go a different route. So when there's no frame, I go here. I'm going to push my head to turn my hip. I'm going to grab kind of simultaneously here and step my foot in, extending, starting to lock his hip. For this one, we're going to go off the underhook first. So we're going to swim. His elbow will be back a little bit. We'll swim it in. Or sometimes you just get it when you're reaching in that process. From here, I'm going to take a crossface underneath and I'm going to drive. I'm going to lift my hip up here and I'm going to just dump it on the other side. Walk it back to diagonal control. One more time. Knee shield, low knee shield, no frames. Here, head forward, turn. So in this position here, let's not get too far into that. Here, I get my grip, I walk it in. I get my underhook in here. I get my cross face, I lift, so we're hip to hip, and I come down, walking it back. Diagonal control. Questions?
There will be later.
I was waiting, Jen. I kept looking right at you. I kept looking around, but my eyes kept finding you. 1, 2, 3.